Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to explain how DFI Bets is going to work, part of our strategy, and also help explain how Vegas makes their money despite having a very low rake. So to start, rake is the part that Vegas is kind of taking away from both sides. So the average money line on a game is minus 110, or on a bet I should say. So if you take a minus 110 line on a game, you are risking $110 to win 100. That ends up being a 47.62% return, which means if you win more than 52.38% of the time, then you're a winning player. So this number is the goal for a break-even sports bettor. That's not our goal, and there's actually lots of handicappers who hit above 53% of their bets. In the last year, my tweeted bets, for those of you who have been following along, hit on over 60%, and I had over 100 bets tweeted. So how is Vegas making money is the question if people are hitting it this often, and it's because of the floor and the ceiling of the average bettor. Let's say your limit is $200. Here's a graph. Here's $200. Let's say up here is $1,000. Over time, you may work your way up here, but standard variation will at some point bring you down to zero, where you can never play again. If that's your true limit, then you'll hit the ceiling, or the floor. There is no ceiling. So what you have to do is not have a huge drop like this. And what usually happens is in this range right here, something called tilting occurs. Tilting is when you get so frustrated by some losses that you start betting more than you normally would. You bet way more than you should on games that you're not even that confident in. And that's where you get these huge fast drops where your bankroll plummets to the bottom because you get frustrated and you bet too much. Where in this range, you're playing it very safe and you're slowly building. So you need to make sure that you avoid this area called tilting. And if you follow our advice on DFI Bets and you bet very consistently, you should be able to avoid that. What you don't want to do is just throw huge money on a game because you suffer a bad beat. An example of a bad beat would be a teaser bet tying, which loses the whole bet. Teaser bets are going to be one of the things we really focus on DFI Bets. Live betting is great. We're going to be doing that. You're going to want our notifications on so you can get our bets right away and get the live bets. But teasers are really cool because some sportsbooks don't offer them. And I called a few of the sportsbooks who do not offer them. And I said, why do you guys not offer teasers? And they said, it's negative expected value to give you more than a few points. So 9-point teasers are what we're really going to be focusing on. It's where you pick 4 teams and you can add 9 points to each of those 4 spreads. So the example I'm going to give, I go to UNC. Let's say Duke is playing at UNC and they're projected to win by 4 with a total of 130. So Duke minus 4 means UNC is plus 4. And if the total is 130, it'll say over under 130. Then that means that the projected game score is 67 for Duke and 63 for UNC. Let's say our research suggests it should be a very close game. UNC might even win. Well, a lot of people, if they think UNC will win, they're going to bet UNC plus 4, the spread, or they'll bet the money line that UNC wins the game straight up. But if you were to make UNC one of your teams in your 4-team teaser, then instead of plus 4, you'd get plus 13. So now, as long as UNC does not get crushed, they could lose by 12 points in this game, and they'll still count as a win in your teaser. So the key for us is that we do a lot of research to find which teams are least likely to get blown out, and which teams that are favored by about 9 or 10 points are the safest to end up winning, regardless of whether they cover the spread. So let's say a team is, let's say UCLA is minus 9, or minus 9.5. That's a terrible 9. If minus 9.5, that's the best spread you can get for a teaser, because you'll add 9, and then it'll be minus 0.5. So as long as UCLA wins by 1, which is the only way to win, then you'd win your teaser bet. So anything minus 9.5, we really look into that and make sure, is this team very safe to win their game? And if they are, we combine them with other teams, 3 other teams, like maybe UNC plus 13. We take UCLA. We'll add 2 more. We've been doing them on Twitter so far. We haven't missed one yet. We will miss, of course. I mean, we're not going to go 100%, but the way our strategy is taking all of this math into account will benefit you a lot. And if you want to try to pick these yourself, we recommend you want to go with lower scoring games. And the reason for that is that the points you're getting end up being more valuable. So if you're picking on Bovada, let's say, and you're picking 4 teams at +9, they give you even money for college basketball, which means you bet $100, you'll win $100. You'll get $200 back if you win. So any 4 teams +9 points. If it's a game with a projected total, this is why we like college basketball more than pro, by the way, because pro basketball has far more blowouts because there's far more scoring. The average pro game has a total projected score of over 200 points. College games are about 130 to 140 on average. So the 9 points you're getting in a low-scoring college game is percentage-wise worth a lot more. For simplicity, let's say a projected total of 120, and it's a totally even game. That means 60-60 is the projected score. And that's on the lower side of things for college basketball. Adding 9 points to one side in a low-scoring, slow-moving game makes it very hard. One team is very unlikely to get blown out if it's a very even projected game. So at that point, we would research which side do we think will win this game. Then we add 9 points to that side. So not only do we expect them to win, but as long as they lose by 8 or less, as long as the game stays close, the teaser bet will win. And then compare that to a game like a 200-point projected game, and it's supposed to be 100 to 100. Well, with that many more points being scored, they look like equally close games. But if the game gets a little out of hand, if one team goes on a big run in the second game with a higher scoring total, those points will end up helping you less. Those 9 points could get blown away quickly while one team goes on a 15-0 run. And this top game, 60-60, it's not likely to feature any 15-0 runs. So there's a lot of math. That's kind of really the simple way of breaking it down. But I just want to make sure that all of you understand what teasers are. And if you need any help betting on specific teasers, which sites accept them, which sites give you the best odds, all those things, you're more than welcome to message me on Twitter, and I'll respond as quickly as I can. My handle is just my name, @. It's Justin MacMahan, JustinMacMahan. And feel free to message me anytime, and I will happily help you get signed up on the right sites, the right sports books, and show you how all this stuff works. But I hope this video covers most of the questions that you might have. Good luck and enjoy working with DFI.